All right, Let's Win family. Thank you guys for joining in tonight. I am elated. I'm excited to have our special guest here tonight, Miss LaKenya here from I Crave Vending in itself here. She gave us a webinar here a few years ago. I was just kind of discussing it with her just before we was getting ready to start here, and she just gave a wonderful, wonderful webinar in itself here. So I want to have her back and come here to us as we're in the new year. And what a way to start off a new year. And we know that today's rate, that inflation is very, very high. And so people looking to make additional income. And this is one way that we can make passive income. And so we're just excited to learn more about vending machines. We see them around all the time, barbershops, hospitals, on the road when we go to like different gas stations and things of that nature, and stores or whatever, right? And so our guest here tonight is a very, very experienced in this here, has a wealth of knowledge. And so without further ado, LaKenya, I want to go ahead and invite you over here to the Let's Win Financial community.
Hello, everyone. So nice to be here with you guys this evening. Okay, there it is. I just want to come off video here.
Yeah, we
Um,
see you.
oh, okay,
Yeah.
perfect. All right. So, it's nice to be with everybody tonight. So I want to make sure that I'm giving you guys a ton of value and something to think about. Like Sharon saying, I've been I gave this webinar back in 2021, so I'm still here. um, and so, anyways, what we'll do is we'll kind of kick off, how you can get started here in 2025. If you guys have any questions at all, I'm an open book. Whatever I know, I don't mind sharing it with you guys. But hopefully, I can give you guys enough information and maybe even answer some questions before we even get there. So, first things first, I am LaKenya Francis, and I am from Miami, Florida. Um, let's see here. Yeah, so I'm from Miami, and just kind of my little back end, how I even stumbled across vending. So back in 2016, I believe it was, I was at the time I was teaching, and I was looking for something else to do just to occupy my time, and also something else to do to kind of generate some additional income. And so I started just kind of Googling stuff, and I was like, man, what can I do that will actually allow me to not leave my day job? And so I kind of came across vending, and I kind of just started doing my own little research. And I went, and I was like, you know what? It's nothing to, you just got to get into it, just got to do it. And so I purchased a set of machines off of OfferUp. And then I also purchased a location. So, and that's something I don't recommend. But, there's a lot of things that I did not know. I just was, kind of just going at it on my own. And I had to learn from trial and error. And so I said, you know what? And of course, people started asking, how did you get into this? So, of course, I started, sharing with folks. And then I was like, you know what? Maybe I'll just kind of venture off into the side of just kind of helping other people. And I, kind of gathered up my resources and been going strong ever since. So that's just a little bit about me. And kind of how I got here. So some of the things that we'll talk about, the business requirements. People are always asking, do I need a license? Do I need a this or that? So I'll talk about that a little bit. The different types of vendings that you can do, the actual machines, where to buy the machines, location. So if any of you ever heard anything about this business model, you're probably wondering, like, well, what about the location? So transparency here, that is the hardest part. That's the hardest part of this business. And I like to be honest so that people can make a sound decision if they want to move forward with it, or if, maybe it's for me or maybe it's not. Contracts between you and a location, the different types of products that you will select. I'll talk a little bit about bookkeeping, not a whole lot, but I'll mention it. Um, and then, sorry about that. And then we'll talk about the profit potential, like how do you make the prices and, how you're making your profit. So the first thing, anytime I'm consulting with someone, I always say, what type of vending that you want to do? That's the first thing we want to figure out. What type of vending is it that we want to do? Because there's many types. You don't just have snacks and drinks. That's the most popular one. But, in this day and age, there's so many things that you can do in the vending machine. You literally can sell anything in there. I've seen people turn their businesses into, transform it into a vending machine. I had a lady one time, she sold, her and her husband, I think they were like Mississippi, they had a storefront where they sold candles that smelled like food. It was very interesting. And she wanted to sell those inside of the vending machine, and kind of expand, around town, because she said it was very, their business was successful already with just a storefront. So think about that, being able to offer your items, like, let's say, this isn't an easy task, but let's say, your local, maybe gas station or convenience store or grocery store, you talk with them and see if you can put that in there and kind of, branch off. So for someone that has a brand or something they're already into, you can sell that in the machine. You can sell anything in the machine. As long as it'll fit, you can sell it. So anyways, we got snacks and drinks, we got convenience items. I've had a couple people that did that and maybe put them in places like hotels. And I'm not talking about your chain hotels like the Hilton or the Marriott. You got to go for the smaller ones, like, that are privately owned. Those are the ones that you usually can get a yes from, but you can sell all sorts of things in there. I've had some folks that have vending machines inside of hotels, and they're like, and I'm like, hey, listen, you in your snack machine, let's divide it up. Let's put snacks in there and let's put miscellaneous items. And I learned this from my last job. I traveled a lot. A lot of the hotel is occupied by people that are working. So what is it that we can get? We can get some over counter medicines, some some hygiene products, and I'm like, just go to the dollar store, like Dollar Tree, and man, I know I spend a lot of time in there, and go and get, spend a few bucks on some stuff and try it out, and see how it moves. You're paying 125, you can easily price these things at everything can make $5, because remember, this model here is for convenience. Um, and so anyways, that's just an option of some things that you could kind of sell in a machine. Another one that was really popular was the beauty vending items. Now, at one point when I first was helping folks with this, they were just doing like lashes only. And I learned that that's not as marketable if you change it and say beauty supplies, right? Because not everyone wears just lashes. But if you have beauty items, and you can kind of put them in many different places. This one lady one time, she had a beauty supply machine. She lived in Texas, and they lived in a town that she told me like the nearest Walmart was like 30 minutes away. So that's a perfect location, because I mean, you got a machine in there, or you can go to Walmart. Which one are you going to do? Probably buy the machine. So but what I liked about her tactic is that she put it inside of the barber shop, right? And she put men items in there. That I thought that was pretty cool. So she catered to the men with that one, and not the women. So that was an interesting one. And then laundry products, you could do this as well. I'll be honest, it's not as popular, but it's something that can be done in a laundromat, maybe. But you'd have to do some legwork, because we'd have to find a laundromat that don't actually sell these items. Because some of them will sell their own stuff. So to find one that don't sell the items, then it could be a hit. So this one may take a little bit more time, but it's it's still one that could be done. And there's a vast of many different things that you can sell, not just these items. These are just some to kind of get your mind going. So one of the first things that I'm going to talk about is just structuring your business. And maybe you guys already have some basic knowledge about business. And I'm going to be very honest with you. I know that most people will say, do these things first, but when I'm one-on-one consulting with someone, I tell them, let's focus on the location and the machine. Then we can circle back around to kind of taking care of the other things like, hey, what name do I want to use? Let's see if this name is available. Let's form our business, structure, whether it be an LLC, or some may want to do this as a sole proprietorship, and I'll walk you through getting your EIN number. And then the big question, what licenses or permits do I need? And that truly depends on where you live. There's no one place that is the same. Some don't require anything. Other than that, you collect sales tax. Some require that you get a permit or a sticker where you pay, $1 and some change to get a sticker every year. This is the way they make money. Some don't require anything if you're not selling, if you're just selling prepackaged items like snacks and drinks. So we're not getting into the food. Now we're getting into hot and cold food, then that's a different story. And then, I just put this on here. Insurance, it's really optional. Out of all these years, I've had 2 people where there's been incidents of their machine being vandalized. It's very, very rare. It's not something that happens all the time. And my advice to people is just, where are you putting your machine? Is it brand new or is it a refurbished machine? Would, for me, make whether or not I want to spend the extra dollars a month to get insurance. But it's truly, a lot of times it's just the option, and it's kind of like up to you. All right, so we'll just kind of move on from that. Now, where to purchase the machine from? So I know a lot of people are like, first of all, this is the biggest thing that you will spend your money on, is the actual machine, right? That's going to be the largest investment here. So maybe some of you guys, maybe you're interested, and then you're probably thinking, well, you know what? Let me see how much the machines cost first before I can make my decision. So these are up to date. Westway Vending, they're out in California. So I don't know about now, you can still look on their website just to get pricing. They're good for refurbished machines, so your used machines. A&M Equipment, this is the #1 place where I've been sending people for the past like 3 or 4 years. They're in Atlanta, in Lithonia, Georgia, so in the Atlanta area. It's a family business. They have refurbished machines, brand new machines, and I stumbled across them from, actually, I was sending people to a more large place, vending.com, which, if you Google vending machines, they're going to be the first people to come up. And they were out of stock. And I had a guy in Atlanta who was like, hey, he went there because I had this on the list, but he went there and he was like, man, they're perfect. The customer service online, just the experience of purchasing with them, making sure you're truly okay. So honestly, about 95% of people kind of get their machines from them. They do have, like I said, refurbished machines and brand new machines. They ship directly to you. Everybody ships. About 90% of the people are buying a machine from somewhere where they are not. So they ship, and deliver it. So that's not a issue, really. And then Discount Vending. Discount Vending, they're in Iowa, and I've actually had some conversations with the owner there. Very nice people. Their prices are a little bit more expensive, but with them, if you want to get into customization, they're really good for that. I had a friend that she was in Detroit, and she still has her machine, but she got a CBD machine and she bought it from them. It was very expensive, I'll be honest with you, but it was pretty cool. It was a pretty cool machine. It was touchscreen. It did age ID verification, where it verifies the person before they can use the machine. Excuse me about my animals in the background. Sorry about that. But you could verify the age on there. It was just a dope machine, and she used that for a couple of different things. So like I said, you can sell anything in the machine, but Discount Vending is really good. When you go to their website, you'll see they have a lot of like customization. All that specialty vending is what I like to call anything outside of snacks and drinks. You can get that from Discount Vending. And again, real people. It's not like a corporate plant where you're talking to this person, talking to that person, very small, close knit. So, a lot of people go with them. And one thing I will tell you, A&M equipment sales, discount vending, I don't know how you guys feel about financing. Everybody's different, but they do offer financing if that is a route that you'd want to go down. So just throwing that out there. They all offer, in-house financing. So that wouldn't be an issue. So I just want to pause right now from the things that I've chatted about so far. Does anybody have any questions or anything? Because I don't think I see any anything in the chat, but I just want to make sure that I just pause just for a second to see if anybody has any questions about what I've talked about so far. Not. Nope. Okay, perfect. That's fine. So just credit card readers. I know I spoke about billing, bookkeeping, excuse me. Credit card readers are almost 100% necessary in this day and age. People do carry cash, but we all know tap and pay, that's just the way of the land. So having one on a machine is very key. Now, one thing I do want to point out, I used to be big on sending people to Facebook Marketplace, right? I don't know if you guys ever used that, or offer up to purchase a machine. And I know I said I purchased it from there, but today I wouldn't 100% recommend that. Reason why is you don't want to buy a machine that's old and outdated and cannot support a credit card reader, because if it's too old, it won't be compatible. And that's a technical thing in the inside of it, being able to attach and speak to the machine and being able to use that. But I actually have like this Excel sheet for people that are like, no, I want to manually keep track of things, my product, my inventory. But the sweet thing about some of these credit card readers nowadays is that you could literally pull reports and download an app and see what you're making, how much money you're making, the sales. You can even set it up to where A1 Doritos, A2 Cheetos, and see right from your phone your sales each day. And you can kind of keep track of stuff like that. I know I have another item here on this screen, pay range. Pay range is not a credit card reader, but for me, it's worth mentioning. So it's like a little USB. It looks like a USB, and it hooks up in the same place where a credit card reader will go. And then they have a sticker. And basically, the person would have to download the app. And when they come in range of a machine that has a pay range, they can use it, and pretty much buy right from their phone. And yeah, so I think that will be good if you have reoccurring customers. So if you have a machine that's in a place where people frequent often and they may spend some time, because a person that's just here at this specific place today and they may not be here again, that's here for 1 hour, they may or may not download an app. But I think it's cool. You can offer like rewards and just different things on there. So like I said, pay range will be good for like a business setup that is, maybe if it was like a doctor's office or something like that, where you got the same employees that's there, they're more likely to download an app, and keep using it that way. So, that's that. Now, the biggest and probably the biggest question is, where do I place the vending machine? The truth is, you place a machine wherever there are people. Wherever you see people, wherever people go, you can put a machine. So for example, I have here just a list of different things like warehouses, schools. Warehouses are really good. Those are hits, because think about it. Let's say you work in a warehouse facility. A lot of times those places are like kind of remote, maybe a gas station 2-3 miles away. Hey, and I want a drink or a pack of chips, I'm going to use the vending machine. Schools are really good. I find that the kids are the best customers. They buy everything, which is crazy because they don't have any money, but they are the best ones. The only schools is it's hard to get inside, like maybe your local district schools, your county schools. It's easier to get into like charter schools or private schools, because you can literally walk into the office and say, hey, you guys have vending machines, or and if they do, who can I speak to about this? And you can talk to a person. Whereas with a district school, they may want you to sign up to do business with the district, and it may not be as accessible and easy, and you may have to bid. So that's that. Daycares, there that it depends. For me, how many employees, because the babies aren't going to be using the machine. So aftercare is a great. YMCA's. I have a young man, and maybe if you guys are, check out my Instagram or whatever. This young kid, he's in, and I keep in touch with his mom. He's in Atlanta, and they got their machine in the YMCA, and that kid he makes money. It's been about 2 years. His mom and his dad, they got him the machine for his 15th birthday, and he's getting ready to go into his senior year. It's just recently, I keep in touch with the mom, and the machine is doing great. Now with the YMCA in the summer times, it does excellent, and then outside of that, it does okay, because they use like the location for like the basketball games. That's a big thing now, travel teams, and then just after school. So again, kids for some reason are the best. Uh, they're the best ones. Hold on 1 second. So, sorry about that, y'all. There are some other places, tire shop, mechanic shops, barber shops, nail salons, but it has to be a busy one, churches, even, if you have a church with a large congregation, and that's an option. Community center, apartment complexes in specific, the assisted living, or the ones that have the senior living, where you got to be like 55 and up. Those do really well, because a lot of those people don't travel places. Gyms, anywhere there's people. Another one that I didn't know this. Again, I learned so much from people as well. Sometimes people are teaching me things. A dialysis. That's, I mean, here in Miami, they're on every corner, literally. Not sure where you guys are all from, but those are good, because a lot of those people get dropped off, and they're waiting for transportation service to come back later in the evening. That's usually the case. And I had someone I was consulting with, and she was like, I want to put one here. The machines we have at my job are really old, and the man has to come every day to fill it up. So, and I'm like, at the dialysis place? And she's like, yeah, because the employees have to work 12, 13 hours. Like, they working long shifts, and the people are there all day. So that's a good one that I don't have on here, but I'm just thinking about it now. So again,
I have a question. Hi, good
sure.
evening. My
Hey, how
name
you
is
doing?
Georgina.
Hey,
I,
Georgina.
I have a question. How often do you service them?
So that is gonna depend. Let's say you get a machine, you get a location. My personal advice that I always give: let the machine sit and go back in a week and check it
Okay.
until you learn what the machine, how often you have to come.
Mhm.
That's what I would definitely say. It really just depends on the location. So in this business, how are you going to make money? What makes it make sense is the location.
And
Um,
like cleaning it, make sure that it's functional, operational, like breakdowns and stuff like that. Do you have like a contracting company or a service person that if it's broken, you can call that person out for repair? Do
right.
you have a contract with like a company or something like that?
I don't personally, but
Mm-hmm.
when I'm, kind of walking with someone, helping them, um, first of all, when I'm helping folks, and they enroll in like the ultimate lifetime package that I have, they have my personal number, and I'm always with them. So if someone hits me up and say, hey, Lakinya, I have this problem, then I'm trying to help them rectify. So typically what I would do in a situation like that is I just search and find someone
Mm-hmm.
for them. I don't have a Rolodex. I actually started working on a document like that. Like, hey, you know what? Let's do all the states and let's find a person. Of course, I know someone in Florida. Um,
Right, like maybe per
yeah,
county.
Right. But there is a website, right, that it comes from vending.com. I'll give them their credit. Um, one of their sister brands. This is a very large 100-year-old company.
Mhm.
And they because I always wonder, like, how are these people offering warranty, but labor warranty, and they're not in the States with these folks. So what they do is they have a program to where when you buy a machine with them and it's under warranty, they have people that sign up like a third party,
Mhm.
and they have them in each state, and they actually have a resource where you can kind of request services.
Okay.
Yeah. And so I would either provide that, or I would maybe look for someone local.
Right.
um, a lot of times when people, if you can find someone that sells machines local, a lot of times they know how to work on them as well.
Okay.
And then I will be very honest with you, a lot of people learn how to
Mm-hmm.
work on their
And
own machines,
on
because
the
when you
machine.
open up the machine, it's just a big box like a refrigerator. It's
Okay.
not like you're opening it up to under the hood. So yeah, it's
Okay.
basic stuff that usually happens that people can kind of rectify themselves. Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
Thank you.
No problem. All right. So now, another thing, right?
Hey, P, I do apologize here.
Yeah.
I don't know if you see it on your screen. There's in the like a something kind of like maybe blocking the screen. I don't know if that's your PowerPoint slide. If not, no worries. We're good. We're good. Keep pressing. We're good. I didn't know if that was something that you saw. That right there. You see that?
Yeah. Yeah. It's blocking it. Yes.
So y'all can't see the screen?
We do, but not like in the middle. It's just like a little, yeah, that whatever that is there. That's
Okay. Yeah, this is the chat pane. So I'm gonna minimize it.
yeah.
And if somebody, I can't see the chat, that's why I keep pulling it down.
Don't
So
worry about the chat. I'll handle the chat.
okay,
Yeah.
okay, all right. So I'm gonna go back, and then I'm gonna go back and minimize that, and then that's that. So um, so yeah, anywhere there's people is where you can put a machine. Um, what's another example? Another one, I had someone in Virginia. This lady, she was going to her doctor, and her OBGYN, she's like, hey, listen, I've been going here for many years, and I was just sitting one day in the waiting room, and I asked the lady at the reception desk, do you guys have vending machines? And the lady said, you know what, we actually don't. So, and she was like, oh, I would be interested in, trying to, provide you guys with a vending machine for free. I'll provide the machine, I'll keep it up, and everything for you. And she said, okay, well, you know what? Um, let me know and email this. And so that's when she came to me like, what am I supposed to really say? So, and then we prepared a proposal, and I said, send this to them to follow up in a professional way. Anyways, she ended up buying a machine, getting it shipped, putting it in a place. And like a year later, like I haven't heard anything. She just randomly emailed me and said, I need your help again. They want me to put another machine in another location. So that's just an example of how you just gotta think, take a sit, just take a moment to say, where can this machine be utilized? Now, they didn't let the machine wasn't for the people in the lobby. They had the machine for the employees, but this was like a large place where it was a lot of employees there. So I thought that was really cool that, and she was able to do that. And to be honest with you, she was like, listen, I'm a little up in age, and so I'm not moving that fast, but I got my three adult kids, my young adults, they're gonna help me out with this. And so they all pitched in and helped mom, and I thought that was a pretty cool situation how she got that location. Now, how do you get a location? It's very simple. It's two ways. You either find a location on your own. Example of how this young lady here, I just told you, she went and she asked the location if they're interested in having a free machine. Another thing, sometimes if you see a location with the machine, that doesn't mean they're happy. I didn't realize there's a lot of locations that have machines, they're not being serviced properly, or then when I say service, filled up all the time. And so I mean, what do you have? Expired snacks in there, and then people complain. You know, that you go into a machine to get something and it's either empty or this stuff is old. Um, so sometimes people, you know, they're not happy with the service, or the machine is old, it's always breaking down, or it doesn't have a credit card reader. So sometimes you can ask a location, hey, are you happy with your services? And so that's how sometimes people obtain locations as well, by asking that simple question. So if I was to walk you through how to get a location, first thing I would say is think about where you would potentially want to put a location. Excuse me, a machine. Um, would you want to put it, I don't know, in your local church, your local barbershop, maybe a barbershop where you go or your child go, or, you know, your husband go. Um, First thing I would do is scout the place to see if they have a machine in there already. If they don't, I would approach, you know, depending on the level of the barbershop, either the owner, or I'd say, hey, is there somebody here in charge that kind of can make decisions? And for me, I would think that when I'm talking to somebody, I don't want to be a pest. So I wouldn't go on there on Saturday at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. You know, I may go on there on a weekday morning when it's slower so that people can, you know, they're actually talk to you. And I just say, hey, listen, I see you guys don't have a vending machine in here. Have you thought about placing one in here? Because I have a vending machine business and I can provide you a machine. It has credit card reader, ADA compliant. I will provide the machine, keep the machine stocked and maintained for you. You know, and this could be a good benefit for you. And, you know, by having this amenity in here for your customers or your employees. And, you know, do you think you'd be interested? You know, that's honestly the conversation. Let's say it's a situation to where somebody can make a decision like, yeah, I'm down for it. I do have like a proposal slash contract. Don't like to use that word though, because it scares people away. Agreement is the better word. Let's say that agreement that I have, and I could personalize it for you by adding your information, and I would send that to them or physically give it to them, however you're communicating, and have them sign it off. And then the next step would be to purchase the machine. Talk about the machine. I'll talk about in just a second. You know, what type of machine are you going to get? Purchase the machine and have the machine shipped directly to the location. And while you're waiting, because it's the turnaround time, is going to be a couple of weeks, like maybe 2 weeks for the machine to be shipped. While you're waiting for the machine to be shipped, this is the time where you can go and file any business paperwork, decide on what products you're going to sell, because now that we have a location, now we can buy the products that is best fitting for this location. Now we could write down on a sheet how much we're going to charge. Okay, so these are little things you're doing while you're waiting for your machine to be shipped. Day of shipment, they'll let you know when it's like a furniture delivery. Hey, it'll be here Friday between 8 and 10. You meet them there, put the machine, plug it up. You'll want to store your pull the machine out and pack your products in there. Do a test VIN where you put in $1 and you press A1, and make sure that everything is dispensing correctly, and let it go from there. Go back in 5 days, you know, and see what is missing and see how it did. Sometimes when locations don't have vending machines, it doesn't like shoot off right away. Sometimes it takes time, you know, for people to even know, hey, we got a machine now. Sometimes it just pops off right away. It depends. Like, what if they already had a machine and they weren't happy with the services, and you just replaced their old machine? They may use that thing right away because they already had a machine, and you know. So that's the cycle of literally the short cycle. Get the location first, buy the machine, then buy your product, stock, rinse, repeat. Now, what if you're a person that's busy? You don't like sparking conversations. You just don't want to do it. Finding a location, just, you know, straight up, hey, King, I just don't want to do it. You know, I have people tell me straight up all the time. You can hire a locator. Now, here's the truth and transparency. There's not a ton of them. And in this business, there's not a ton that you can trust. Now I have a guy, his name is Bill. He does do locating services. And I'll just give you a brief overview of how that works, just so that you know, and you kind of understand it. It's not a magic trick. He doesn't have a Rolodex full of locations waiting to, for you to pick, but he'll talk to you, see where you are, get your zip code, and he'll start looking. And he has his tactics and his little ways of how he finds the locations. And he cold calls, and he asks them if they have a machine. If they do, if they're happy with the service, are they looking to, get new services? And if they don't, are they interested in vending services? And to say, hey, I have someone that's going to be in the area. They'll contact you and they'll come over and talk more about it. And that person will be you. You'll go there. At this point, he's getting all the details. He's going to get all the details, how many people work there, the hours, all of the smaller details that you should know. And basically, when you're going to meet, it should be a matter of, finding out the type of machine that they're interested in. And then more than likely they'll ask you, when can you put a machine in? It's usually like a 5-10 minute conversation. A lot of people get really nervous with it, but I have to remind folks, you're not trying to build somebody a house. It's just a vending machine. Okay. And so honestly, that's what the locator does. He does that cold calling, and I talk to him all the time. He's like, Kenya, sometimes I gotta call 100 people before I can get one person to agree to meet. That's a lot of time spent, but that's what he does, and that's what a lot of people don't want to do. But so that's the other option of getting a location. And I'm going to be honest, sometimes he's gotten some locations that are so good, and sometimes they're okay. um it just depends on the time, the need, the location, like where you're located. Is it a rural area? Is it a big city? Those things go into account as well. So yeah, that's the whole location thing and how you get a location.
I have a question.
Mhm.
Um, Depending on where you put a machine,
Right.
do they ever charge you a fee, like monthly, like kind of
Great.
like rent or something like that
Yeah.
for,
Great
yes?
question. So, and I'm glad you asked that. I'll be honest, I don't think I have I have that on here. So that's another thing. Let's say you're going on your own and um, you got to look at it like this. You're providing a service. You're providing a machine. The machines aren't, they're not $500 anymore like they used to be, back in 2016. So you providing a machine they don't have to pay for. You're coming to stock the stuff and you keeping it maintained. So the reason I'm telling you that is you have to really believe that you're providing a service and a benefit for this business. Now, I always tell folks, don't offer unless they ask. Some places have had I call it profit sharing, where they have the previous person gave them a percentage every month or something. Now, if that is the case, if they ask, I would tell them, hey, I can do 10% a month. And that's all I can do, because we don't want to overpromise. We need to see what the volume is going to be like at first.
Correct.
Some people will, I had a guy, a lady that got a friend of mine back in Tampa when I lived there. She went to like this hotel, and the guy he was already familiar with the business. Like, yeah, you can put your machine in here, but I need 25 cents off of everything you sell. I thought that was okay, because you just added on to the price, which I'm going to show you how you factor in making sure that you're still getting your profit plus the location if they're asking for a profit. So
Right.
some will ask, some will come with a number. I tell you, the places that have like really high profit sharing is like schools. They usually do, because they use that money for athletic funds, or you know, uh, raising money for students. And so, but honestly, the volume in schools, that how often these kids use the machine, it doesn't even matter, because you're making money.
What
Um,
about, do you get a lot of calls regarding my item got stuck in there, I didn't get my money
so
back or stuff like that?
so here is my suggestion for that. I would say I get like a little money bag or a little pouch like this, and there's
Mhm.
going to be every location, there's going to be a go-to person, right? You're going to have
Okay.
your go-to person, your talking person. I'd put like 10 ones in here and say, hey, this is just in case. That's just what I would do for customer service, just so that if they're calling me and I'm at work, I don't have to worry about it. Or let's say you're there stocking your machine and somebody says, oh, it ate my money the other day. They're watching you stock the machine. Give them the product that they say they missed. Oh, my bag of chips. Because that's cheaper than giving them the money back.
That's true.
And then lastly, if you're getting an up-to-date machine, they it depends. Like if it's a new machine, they have I forget the name of it right now, but um they have it to where the machine is so sophisticated that if the person don't receive the item, it'll refund them. But those are on newer machines. But let's say we're not getting a new machine. That's my suggestion as far as the people, if they're complaining that the machine ate their money, just leave a petty fund with the secretary, the whoever the spokesperson is at that location, for just in case, just to save face and kind of like, keep good business going. Um, and if they, like I said, if they stop and say, "Ooh, it took my soda," I'll just hand them a soda, just to just be, it's one person, and just get them out of the way.
Mhm. Thank you.
For sure. So, do you need a contract? Here's the transparency, right? A lot of people, most people, they do vending on a handshake. Yeah, you can move it in here. I did that. But I'll tell you what changed my mind. I'm gonna tell you guys. Um, hey, can I place the machine here? Oh yeah, sure. And you put the machine in, you keep it stocked and maintained, and usually there's no problem. That's how it goes, honestly. But I remember I had the machine in the place, and the lady didn't tell me that she sold the business. She didn't tell me that. I went one day to stock the machine up, and I see they kind of had to move, think not the machine, but the office was a little different. This was at a mechanic shop and a tire shop, all in one. And I'm like, oh, okay. And then this lady comes out, and I live in Miami, so she started speaking to me in Spanish, and I didn't understand what she was saying. So she called her son on the phone, and son said, hey, yeah, we took over. We bought. We just purchased this business, and my mom wants to remove the machines. I didn't have nothing in place, no nothing. It was just verbal. The person told me I can move the machine in there. Everything was fine. I didn't have a problem with, but she didn't even tell me she was selling the business. Crazy, right? So
Mhm.
that's why I created this. This is a document that I just kind of took a snippet of it, but I actually created this. And there's 2 more pages to it. And the other page, it doesn't say the word contract. I took that out, I put agreement, because I've seen someone lose a potential location by speaking to the people saying contract, contract. And they just was like, what? We're not buying into that. So I just say agreement. So let's say you do get a location to say, yeah, definitely we want to put a machine. You could put a machine in here. My next step is, all right, let me go ahead and put your information here, send this to them, tell them to sign it. And really, the other pages, it just says, this is my machine. It's going to be placed at this location. But the most important part is, if they wanted you to move the machine, that, they will give you a notice at least. Um, so, and I have some people that they continue to do it on a handshake, and I have some people who are very stern. I won't do it without, an official sign, someone signing something to give me some security, to feel comfortable with moving forward, because now I'm going to buy a machine. I need to make sure that we all good. So that's that on the whole contract or proposal. I created this as in, this is what I would give someone if they were going to approach a place. It talks a little bit about who you are, the benefits of having a vending machine. Then on the second page is the agreement. And then I also have another page. This is a 4-page document that has a snack list. It just look good. You don't have to do it, but say, hey, and you can let me know what type of snacks or drinks that you guys want to see in the machine. You can either check it off or write it on the sheet, email it back to me. However, sometimes you might want to put what they want in there because they're gonna buy it. Now that leads me to the product. What type of products are we putting in the machine? I had to learn this. You're not putting what you want, what you eat, your preference of snacks, your preference of drinks is what the people want, the location, what makes sense, it is my audience, little kids at a gym, they snacks they eat is like Takis and all kind of crazy stuff that they, eat nowadays. And me personally, I don't eat like that. I don't drink sodas, but guess what? That's what some people like. There's some businesses that they go crazy over diet sodas. Those do really well. Diet. Energy drinks do really well too. And water. So, these are things that we're going to find out what the location wants, and we're going to put things in there that make sense to this specific audience. And I'll give you one little example. A lady in I don't know, Maryland, Virginia, in that little area. I don't know which one she was in, I forget. She ended up getting a location at a warehouse, some bakery. They already had a machine. They weren't happy with the service. Bill got her this location. They said, yeah, we want to put new machines. She got 2 new machines, put it in there. Their complaint is that the previous owner weren't putting the things in there that they liked. So this place had very heavily Hispanic population, and they had specific things that they wanted to buy, stuff that wasn't in the store. So I helped her, kind of find some of those products. But that's an example of, we can't put in there what we want. We want to put the product in there of what the location needs, So we want to match our product with where the machine is going. On that thought of vending machines, what type of machine? You got snacks, drinks, and then you have combination. The combination is where you have usually the snacks at the top, drinks at the bottom. And then you have sometimes snacks separate, drinks separate. It just depends on the location. Some locations don't have room to put 2 separate machines. They only have room for a combination machine. That's why they're so popular nowadays. Less space. So that makes a difference sometimes of where you order from as well. Because let's say you need a combination machine and Vending doesn't have one in stock. Discount Vending does, we're going to have to go with them. So that makes a difference sometimes of where you buy the machine at the end of the day. But and sometimes people are like, I want a combination machine. No, hold on, hold your brakes. We want to see what type of machine were they looking for. I've even seen some places where they only want a drink machine. So we're not getting we're looking for a drink machine at that point. So it's what the location want because we're providing a service. Now, where do you buy these items from? You can go to BJ's if you have one, Costco's, Sam's Club. I know here in my town, there's a whole bunch of different wholesale stores. And there's usually one in your town too. Maybe you don't know off the top of your head right now because you never thought about it. But BJ's, Sam's Club, Costco's typically where people go because you can get stuff in bulk. You can also get stuff in variety packs, which is I highly recommend at the beginning. So for example, you get a box. Let's say you think in your mind, people like Doritos. We don't know what they like. we never sold any snacks to them. We don't really know. So if we get a variety pack that comes with 5 different chips, we can put 5 different chips in there and we can come back in a week and let's see which ones they ate the most. Then when we find like, okay, we got a hit here, then maybe we can buy one whole box with just that one type. But I highly recommend, buying variety packs in the beginning until you learn the location and what they like and what they're responding to. Now, how to price. This is my recommendation for pricing. So I actually pulled this up today. The reason why is because I've noticed like over the past year, as you guys know, things have gone up so much, prices change. And so it's kind of important to every now and again, pay attention to your prices and make sure that you're charging enough. I know you guys may go in a store and see like a drink, like almost $3 now for a 16-ounce drink. It's expensive. So your prices have to reflect the current, what it is. So this box here, and these are probably little small bags. This box $22. So when you break it down of what you're paying per bag, you're paying 44 cents. So how can I make money off of this in the machine? My formula is either times 3 or times 4. What does that mean? So we're gonna take the amount that you're paying for, and we're gonna multiply that. We're gonna charge 3 times the amount, and then we're gonna round. Why would I do 4? If the location is asking you for profit sharing, I would do the 4 so that it's making sense for you. They still getting a little 10% or the 25 cents on each item or whatever the agreement that is, but you're still making money and it's making sense for you. So how would I round this off? When you go to a vending machine, you don't see stuff for $1.32. It's usually on the nearest quarter, right? It's usually round off to a quarter. So I would personally price this, a bag of chips, $1.25, or the $1.75 if I'm having to share profits. And the next time you go to a vending machine, look at the prices. I don't know if you guys use machines or not, but you look at the prices and see if this kind of compatible to what you're seeing out there. I want y'all to do that for yourself. You can take a picture of this or whatever, because this is my pricing. And again, it may be slightly more expensive than the corner store or something like that, but it's a vending machine and it's convenience that they're paying for, right? Now I'd move on to a drink. So this is 16-ounce drink. This is usually what you would sell in the machine, or cans too. But anyways, this is a 24 bottles, so it's 70 cents a piece. 210 or 280. Me personally, I'd round it off to either $2, or you can do $2.25. I know there's some vending machines that may do $2.25. I say $2. I would either do 2 or $2.25 depending on the location. And how, if you want to be competitive, you don't want to get too greedy, because we want people to use the machine, and we want to put affordable prices, but we want to make money too. Times 4, I do $2.75. If you go at a machine, it might be somewhat like that right now. So that's how you price. That's how you make your products. Just to give you guys sense of numbers. Usually a vending machine, let's say a combination machine, they usually have let me see, maybe about 10 rows or 5 rows. No, maybe about 10. And 10 selection of the drinks. So about the snacks, it may hold, like 200 and something, 200, 250 pieces of products. Drinks, easily, 140, something in that range. So it holds a lot of product. Now, one thing I didn't mention, drinks lifespan is way longer. You can probably get a drink and it expires next year. So you're good on those. So you can fill up the drink machines. And just a little fun fact, drinks, you make more money with the drinks than you do the snacks. People buy drinks more from a vending machine. It's just a statistic than they do snacks. So, which is better because, and you make more money off of water too, because the profit margin is so, is so large, because water is, cheaper. But you can't buy cheap water. You can't buy that, $3.99 for a 24 case. You got to buy quality. The reason why is the plastic on the bottle. It needs to be able to dispense. It will get stuck if you're using a cheap bottle. So you do have to put a quality water in there. But what was I saying about I
The
forgot
drinks.
the drinks. Oh, the snacks. The snacks. They expire quick. So I had someone recently who just followed up. When I say recent, maybe 5 days ago, she wrote me and said, "Hey, just follow up. This is how things are going." Some people do that, some people don't. But I appreciate that because then I can use that knowledge and kind of better prep the next person. But she said that her and her husband are still struggling on the snacks because of the expiration dates. So I was telling her, you can't buy too much. You just can't, because a bag of chips expires next month. Easy. So although the machine can hold, you know, your top row is probably like 5 rows and it go back 10. You don't want to put that many chips in there. You maybe want to put 1 or 2, or if you get a variety pack, sometimes the variety packs come with. So sometimes they may have like this one. You see it says 6 Ruffles, 4 Lay's, like that. You don't want to go and buy 2 boxes of these. No, 1 box. So that's the tricky part with the snacks. Chips in particular, there's some snack items that last longer in expiration, but that's something you want to look at when you're purchasing. Yeah, it's the expiration date. Unfortunately, that is one that is it's something that you have to be aware of. Whereas the drinks, they last a lot longer. So all in all, you got your business stuff, but I kind of want to set that aside, because let me tell you what happens. Sometimes people focus so much on, oh, I need to file my LLC, I need to do this and do that. But I'm gonna tell you the truth. In this business, the number one thing that is the most important is finding a location. So what do we do if you want to start right now today? First, think about the type of vending that you want to do: snacks and drinks, beauty supplies, whatever. Right? Once you do that, I want you to go and check out the different websites, browse around on the machine so you know what the investment is, or if you're going to use credit, whatever the case may be. You want to know that up front. Okay, I got that. Location, decide if you're gonna, hey, I'm gonna go out and I'm gonna look for a location on my own, or you know what, I don't want to do that, I want to just have somebody else do it for me. Once you get a location, yes, you can put your machine in here. Then we get on the phone and we call A&M Vending. Hey, I'm gonna need a combination machine. Do you guys have any in stock? Or I'm gonna need a snack machine, or singly a drink machine. And they'll talk with you, because again, this is a family-owned business, so you're not talking to like some robot or something. You're talking to a person, and they'll talk with you about what they have. And once you do make your order, they're going to ship it to that location. And this is now when I can decide, hey, do I want to do a sole proprietorship? Do I want to establish an LLC? Want to go ahead and get my EIN number. Let me go open up a business bank account. That's another thing I didn't mention, because what happens is once you get your machine, you have the credit card reader, you're going to call the company and activate it. They're going to ask you for your banking and routing number. You give it to them, and so when people use the machine and it swipes, the money goes to your bank account. That's how you get paid. But while we're waiting for the machine to be shipped to the location, now we're going to make a list. And I even have a list that you can, go in and let's make a list of all things I'm going to sell. Let's make a list of how much I'm paying for them. And then let's make a list of how much I'm going to vend. Why? So for 2 reasons. So 1, you know what you're going to charge. And 2, this particular A&M Vending, they did this for my friend. They say, hey, what do you want to put? You want us to set the prices for you? And they set the machine prices for her. So we just kind of did a thing where it's like the first row we're going to charge, it's going to be a row for $275, second row for $250, whatever. And she worked it out and they set it. So, but you want to know what you're going to charge, and then during this time you can, go buy your sodas. And I would wait on the snacks until like a couple of days before. But you can go on bjs.com, costcos.com, Sam's Club, and start looking at everything and seeing what you're going to buy. Write it down, write the prices down, and go and purchase after the fact, because you want to have the longest life shelf as possible on there. And you can kind of get into it from there. So Now, I know again, we're bringing forth to you guys like, an idea of something that you may want to possibly do. Um, you may decide this isn't for you. You may feel like, hey, this is something I might want to do. You can kind of check me out on the social medias, the website that I have, or if you have questions that you want to personally ask me, maybe you don't want to ask them now, maybe you don't know them now. Feel free to email me. A lot of times I'll respond in a video response so that you can have it to go back and listen to. So, I'll leave this here. And then now what we can do is, oh no, I don't want to take that off. So now what we can do is, we'll just answer, what questions anyone may have, or are you soaking everything in? Um,
So, Lakenya, I will go ahead and start, man. This is definitely excellent information here. I didn't really think about it. I mean, having it at maybe at your church, or
yeah.
I'm thinking as far as if you get your where you'll get your hair done,
Uh-huh.
guys, females. If you don't see a
Right.
vending machine there, that's a great opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
But let's win financial community. While we have Miss Lakenya here, I would say for the next 5 minutes, address your questions, and then if not, you have our contact information
Yeah.
here, and then we'll be able to reach out to her.
Right. Absolutely. Anybody got any
Yeah,
questions?
so good evening. Yeah, this is Cece.
Hey,
Thank you
hey,
for
how
the
you
great
doing?
information. So quick question. You may or may not know, but do these vending machines, because technology is like just growing so quickly. Do you
Mhm.
know if like the vending machines have like cameras inside of them, so you can kind of monitor, the people that's
Um,
kind of come in and, your stuff that's in there. So if people
I
are
don't.
really
Yeah. So I don't think the machines come with it. I've had some people to say, I'm gonna put a camera in there. The only thing about that, I'll be honest, I think it kind of gets into, if it's in a public place, should you be notifying people that you got cameras and stuff like that? I've had people to go on Amazon and they buy the camera set up. It looks like a real camera and everything comes with the notice, and they've put them on the machines just to have them there. Usually people will do that with when they're doing specialty vending because the products in the inside, it costs more. Like if you're selling beauty products, that stuff costs more opposed to a bag of chips and drinks. Now as far as the company putting the camera on there, I'm not sure if they will do it. And maybe they will. Discount vending would probably be the one for that. But I've had some people to say I'm installing a camera and go on Amazon and hook it up in the inside, and then they put a notice. They buy the sticker and say, "Hey, this is being recorded at all times."
Thank you.
Right. And I also think it also depends on your location. That's another thing. And the people that have talked about vandalism, it's like one of them was in an extended stay hotel. And I'm like, these type of people, it is what it is. Why you got the machine in the cut? That needs to be in the lobby where it could be monitored. So sometimes you got to use common sense too, and you have to use discretion. This is where I would definitely say get you some liability insurance if you're feeling questionable about the location and your machine possibly being vandalized. Um, yeah. Anybody else have anything? Not for now. Okay.
Hey, Lakenya, what would you say the cost would be now for an average machine?
So if you were buying like a refurbished snack machine, you can go on Westway Vending. And right now, if you guys are on your phone, you can look up and go get some real numbers. Maybe about like $1,800 for a single snack. Let's say a combination machine. That's gonna be more. That's like buying two machines in one. At least 2,500 to like $3,000. Brand spanking new with all the bells and whistles, they're like 5,000.
Mm,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
nice,
yeah.
nice.
So I'm gonna tell you, I bought my first vending machine for $500. That used to be a price, but I know you guys. I don't know how big you are on social media, but like back in 2019 ish, vending just popped off and everybody wanted to get into it. And so the sellers were like, we're not selling this for 500 anymore. Now we're going to charge you 1,200 for this used machine. But sometimes you can find some good deals on OfferUp and Facebook Marketplace. I just like to be very cautious with that because I've had someone recently to get scammed, and I'm like, man, you got to use common sense now too. You can't go on a website and the only way you can pay them is Zelle. You know, that should be a red flag, but not everybody is thinking like that. So I'm kind of skeptical about telling people to go on Facebook Marketplace, OfferUp, because you got to know how to deal with those transactions. So I would say if you do go that route, I need to see the machine and make sure it worked before I buy it. You know, it works still, but you just got to be careful because there's so many scams and stuff out there.
Nice, nice.
Yeah.
I see Miss Cassandra. Go ahead. You had your hand raised.
Oh, yes. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Yes. I just wanted to know your opinion. I had heard it's a great result in being able to communicate and collaborate with storage units to see if they would have vendor machines. And usually I was thinking about that too, because they do have monitors on the ground at storage units sometimes. How do you go about that if you wanted to propose a contract with them? Is that directly going to each individual owners of those particular areas?
Cassandra, are you talking about placing a vending machine at a storage unit or?
Yes.
Oh, okay. So this is what I would do. I would probably Google storage unit in my area. That'll be the first thing I do. Look and see what storage units pop up. Matter of fact, I've been noticing a lot lately. I'm not sure why storages are popping up everywhere, so that might be a good one. I would go into the store and I would ask whoever is at the service desk, hey, do you guys have is there a manager or supervisor here available? Let's say they are. I would just say, hey, I'm Lakenya with I Crave Vending, and I was, looking around. I don't see a vending machine here. Wanted to know if you're interested in having vending machines placed here. I do provide the machines at no cost to you. I do stock the machines with product, keep it serviced and maintained while your employees and your guests can enjoy it. Are you interested? That's really, really what it is. Now, here's what you're going to get in your response. I already know what the response is going to be. Depends on the storage unit. Some are privately owned. They could tell you right now, yes or no. Or they're going to tell you, we got to go and reach out to corporate. So it depends if it's one of those chain storage places that they can't make that decision. They may have to reach out to someone else. So what do you do in an instance like that? Like, oh, okay, I'd ask for a name and, maybe an email address, and I would send them the proposal. I'll send them an email following up. And unfortunately, in places like that, you got to do following up. You got to follow up because think about this. When you come into your place of business, the first thing in your mind is not a vending machine. It's just not. So sometimes you have to remind them, not harass, but remind, like, hey, it's Lakenya just following up to see if you ever got any information about, who I can speak to about placing a machine here.
Hey, Lakenya, I got a question here for you. I'll take this one and then maybe one more. But like in hospitals, right? You see a bunch of vending machines. Is that normally contracted through like the hospital owned machines, or they have a contract with someone? What's your experience on that?
So this is so funny, right? Let me tell you, I had a lady a few years ago, North Carolina. I think she was in Charlotte. Probably the first and only, but she hit me up. Hey, I want to do this for my two boys for college, whatever. So when I get on the phone with her, she's like, yeah, I want to try to put it in the hospital. And I'm like, okay, well, tell me the hospital. I looked the hospital up and I was like, I ain't gonna lie, in my head, I'm like, whoa, this is probably way over her head. So I created the contract, gave it to her, and she was like, yeah, I actually work at a hospital, a different one, but I have some friends over here. So they gave me a contact person of who to talk to, the secretary, believe it or not. So I want to say this too. Sometimes you don't need to speak to the highest person. We need to speak to somebody who know how things run. The secretaries usually know everything. And I was like, oh, okay. And so she talked to a secretary on a specific floor. So the hospital had machines, but that floor didn't have one. And she was able to get her machines on that floor. So these nurses, now personally, sometimes when I go inside these hospitals, I'm curious. A lot of these people are, sometimes they have stickers with their contact information. I look them up. They're just local people. Now, how did they get in there? They probably went in, talked to the secretary, found the human resource person, and pitched themselves. Sometimes you don't know, a relationship is getting ready to end with one company. Maybe not, but sometimes. Another thing that's popping up left and right, urgent cares. Don't be afraid to walk in those. In my neighborhood alone, I could point out with the 5 mile radius, at least five. I went into one time. It was privately owned. I didn't even know that. So these are people you can talk to, not have to send you up a corporate ladder. You can talk to somebody right in there. Hey, you know what? Y'all don't, and now I'm thinking about it. This particular urgent care over here, they don't have a vending machine in there. But guess what? When people got to wait, easily they're going to use the machine. So that's just a thought. But yeah, sometimes these places do have contracts, and sometimes they don't, believe it or not. It's just a matter of getting in there and did you beat the first person? Did you beat somebody else in there?
This is good, Lakenya. This is very good. I'll take one more question, and if
Right.
anybody have any additional questions, you have your contact information here, and then they can definitely
Right.
reach out here. So, let's win financial community. One last question, and then we will end tonight's webinar. But we have some great information that she's given us. But any more questions here tonight? Any last questions? Wow, this looks good. So I don't see any questions. I don't see it in the chat. But Kenya, let me
Okay.
just say this here, man. I mean, just alone on the pricing information, that was good for me. And just the locations, I think the main thing for me is summing it up is you find the location. Once you find the location and you use the resources that you provided us tonight and then take advantage of this here. There's nothing like making passive income
Right.
where you really pretty much have the tools, the resources that's put in place and making it happen. So I appreciate you for coming to us tonight. We're going to have this recorded. We'll be able to send you the recording as well. And
Okay.
for the Let's Win Financial members that maybe got on a little bit late, this will also be recorded, so you can go back and see the full replay. But Kenya, any last final words you want to say before we close out?
None at all. I don't know what your timing is looking like on Sherwin, but I do see someone said they had a question. If you want to let them, they can. If not, you can email me and I will respond. I usually
Yeah.
respond right away.
We'll take one more. We'll take one more.
Okay, let's
Go
do
ahead,
it.
Crystal.
Thank you. Thank you so much. This was a really great presentation. You did a really great job kind of explaining how to get into this business. My question for
Mhm,
you is there, I've heard this before,
mhm.
uh, are there a certain amount of vending machines you need to own in order to turn a profit? Or can you actually turn a profit with one vending machine?
You definitely can turn a profit with one machine. I like to use my little buddy King Kai in Atlanta because his mom, like we became friends now. And she is vulnerable and she tells me everything. And she's even going like on another level. She's bidding on contracts now. She's trying to get in the game. Again, they bought him this machine, right? The machine that they purchased him, I didn't put the website on here. I'm gonna be honest because that machine came from China, and that it's a hit or a miss with that. They're cheaper, but then they may break down. Then who's gonna fix it? And then not only that, 3 years ago when you're importing something in, and paying that fee is probably different from today. But anyways, it was a combo machine. I think mom paid about 5 grand for it, 4 or 5 grand.
Mm-hmm.
So that means that everything she makes up front is going towards that machine.
Mm-hmm.
She was telling me this had to be we were talking about taxes. And she said that his machine had did 14 grand the previous year. That one machine
Oh,
at a YMCA in Georgia.
oh,
How she got
wow.
that location? She got it on her own. She said that she's a great mom. She's in there volunteering with her kid, making him do stuff. And she said she noticed that they didn't have a vending machine. She asked the director, hey, notice you guys don't have a machine. You're interested? And she said, you know what? We are. created a proposal for her. I said, listen, email it to her. She was getting discouraged. The lady was taking a while to respond to her. She told her verbally, yeah, we want one, but she wasn't getting back with her. And I said, just be patient. Like, vending is not on the top of her list. Just be patient. The lady got back with her. She ordered the machine, moved it in, and ooh, that thing, it takes off. Like, even till today, like, it takes off in the summer mostly, though. In the summer mostly. But that's an example that you don't have to have. It's about the location.
Wow.
That's how you
That's
turn it.
awesome.
Yep. So
That's awesome. Thank you.
you're welcome.
Awesome.
Mhm.
Great information. Great
Right.
information. Thank you for the questions. Lakenya, again, thank you for coming in tonight
Sure.
and giving us a wealth of resource of information here. Let's Win Financial Community. We have her information here. Hit up on social media, follow on social media. That's where I saw Lakenya on social media, in particular on Instagram. And so continue to follow her. And so this would be a great birthday gift, just a great gift, even for your
Yep.
kids or for yourself, or definitely have some passive income. So thanks again, LaKenya.
All
Thank
right.
you again. Let's
Y'all
Win
have a
Financial
good night.
Community.
Hit me up if you have any questions following.
Okay,
All right.
certainly will do.
Talk to you
All
guys
right,
later.
guys.
Bye-bye.
As always, be well, be blessed, and as always, let's continue to win. All right, guys. Have a great night.
Thank you.